On Saturday, Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro announced the creation of a superior system of supply to combat the suspicion that, according to the president, people are taking advantage of programs that offer subsidized products to the public. The new system will employ an electronic banking card, secure digitized supply system, that will be provided to all who receive government assistance by Centenario, PDVAL, Mercal, and will serve to limit purchases of specific products. Maduro's decision stems from the problems associated with these government-run markets, under the umbrella of the Mission and Alimentation Food Mission that sell food and staple products subsidized by the government, although food shortages have been just as evident in private supermarkets as well. Last week, PDVAL announced the start of a pilot program in which users can only purchase certain products once a week, and to maintain control, will register using their ID number before making their purchases. The worsening shortage problem. The primary objective of the food program, established by Hugo Chavez in 2003, has been to distribute and sell food and other basic necessities at lower prices than private businesses. However, the program has run into two major problems. One, government markets have become the ideal place for informal traders, known as bachucaros, to acquire merchandise at low prices for resale at much higher prices. Two, shortages on certain basic products continue to occur because, on the occasion that they can be found, they are bought in very large quantities for fear they will not be found in the future. The government has classified this sort of behavior as domestic hoarding, or nervous shopping, and has identified it as the principal cause of shortages. If people are going to take 20 packages of flour when they would normally take 3, they are creating a logistical gap that there is no way to cover. It is a call to conscience on the issue of nervous purchases and domestic hoarding that is effectively causing us all harm, explained Felix Osorio, Minister of Nutrition. Edgar Diaz, an economist and university professor in Caracas, offers an explanation to better understand the behavior of Venezuelan consumers with respect to regulated products and those that are more scarce. When the consumer market does not see any regularity in supply, consumers will see this trend and buy more than they need. On the other hand, while a wide price gap exists through subsidies, the bachucaro market will continue to exist and there is no way to control it. Long lines at both government-run and private supermarkets to acquire a limited number of basic products are becoming more frequent every day. Given this distortion of the program, the government has tried various means of controlling excessive purchases. Identifying consumers and limiting their purchases has been the first step in countering the compulsive shopping that worries the Venezuelan government. The ration card as a solution to the shortages. In a country with strong currency controls, and where inflation in 2013 reached an official rate of 56%, the product shortage has become the main issue that has confronted the government of Nicolás Maduro. According to a January 2014 report by the Venezuelan Central Bank, the scarcity index reached 28%, meaning 28 of every 100 products measured were not available and had no substitute. Maduro has publicly condemned what he considers an economic war being waged by his political opposition and capitalists, who are the purported reason Venezuelans cannot obtain basic goods. As a result, the president has decided to fight this battle using both the law of fair costs and prices, which restricts businesses' income to 30%, and the new secure digitized supply system, which will limit the purchase of basic goods at government markets. However, the adoption of these methods indicates a change in Maduro, who previously rejected any efforts to introduce a food ration system, calling it crazy. On state television network Venezuelan television in June of last year, the president stated that the solution to our economic problems and overconsumption is to produce, produce, in good faith towards the consumption of the Venezuelan family. He went on to say that if in any part of the country the plan were in place to ration the sale of food, it was ordered to terminate. Regarding this change in strategy, the economist Diaz tells us that the president decided to push the measures now because scarcity has increased and will continue to rise. While these measures are intended to put an end to the food shortage and speculation, Diaz disagrees that it will accomplish its intended goal. On the contrary, it will intensify, he said. They are trying to put out a fire with gasoline, while they maintain price controls and the rationing of preferential dollars. They are discouraging domestic production. Neither the private sector nor the government can keep pace with supply because there is insufficient foreign currency to adequately stock the productive sector. Diaz believes that the solution to the shortage is far from applying greater controls on the economy. However, lifting restrictions would imply a political cost too great for Maduro to absorb. The economist explains that the problem of shortages will be resolved by injecting foreign currency into the economy and gradually freeing price controls and other restrictive elements. While this may trigger inflation, they are unpleasant measures that the government will eventually have to take. Store seizures. Arrests fail to curb Venezuela shortages. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro threatened further interventions into private property, this time with the temporary occupation of supermarket chain Dia a Dia. The news was revealed by National Assembly President Diosdado Cabello, who headed up a judicial raid on a Caracas warehouse belonging to the chain early on Tuesday morning. The Bolivarian National Guard are now to take control of every production unit, storage facility, and stores belonging to the supermarket group. Cabello alleged that Dia a Dia owners had failed to comply with a new labor protection law, saying that from now on the labor rights of their employees will be guaranteed by the national government. According to the National Assembly chief, the measure follows complaints from the people about the lines outside Dia a Dia stores. Cabello also claimed to have received allegations of hoarding by the management, prompting investigations into the 35 stores owned by the chain. On Monday night, prominent Venezuelan journalist Nelson Carranta published on his Twitter account that the merchandise in the stores was being taken in trucks belonging to state rationing firm PDVAL to resupply government-run bicentenario outlets. After Aguirre created Dia a Dia in 2005, it grew to have 36 establishments dotted across 16 cities and 7 states nationwide. A graduate in mechanical engineering, he obtained his MBA summa cum laude from Harvard University in 2002. In 2013, he was recognized as Businessman of the Year by the Fundación Venezuela Sin Límites for having expanded his stores to far-flung population centers neglected by other chains. On Sunday, February 1, the Venezuelan government also announced the arrest of the directors of Farmatodo, the largest pharmacy chain in the country, for allegedly conspiring to create shortages in products. A few hours later, 5 were freed. 2 of the executives, including Farmatodo president, Pedro Angarita, remained in custody on Tuesday. On Monday evening, Maduro announced that his government will maintain its pressure on businesses, blaming business leaders for supposedly plotting against him to manufacture shortages. Industry figures in turn have argued that shortages are the product of failed government policies, price controls, and problems with distribution. Executives and one shareholder of meat product company Corporación Carnica were arrested, charged with the hoarding of and price speculation with products seized in a store in Punto Fijo, Falcon State. The accusations leveled against them include speculation, fraudulent tampering, selling expired products, hoarding, and conspiracy. According to information from the public ministry, officials from the National Superintendency of Fair Prices were carrying out an investigation into a company warehouse when they came across a huge quantity of stored meat products, as well as various medical supplies. Nicolás Maduro told press on Tuesday that the company will be folded into the network of state supermarkets. In a press release published Tuesday by the Caracas Chamber of Commerce, local business leaders condemned the measures taken by the government, labeling them economic terror. The chamber further described the arrests and store seizures as arbitrary, and argued that they would only serve to deepen the national crisis. Measures like those taken recently against Farmatodo and Dia a Dia prove that we all need the rule of law, justice, and respect. Without these guarantees, economic improvement is impossible, the document stated. The industrial and commercial figures called on the government to restore confidence by respecting property rights, eliminating counterproductive price controls, adjusting prices, allowing the free market, and applying the discipline and sense needed to take the road of consensus. Jorge Roy, president of the National Federation of Chambers of Commerce, FedCommerce, told Union Radio that the government's temporary occupations of stores had effectively resulted in the closure of the companies. Roy argued that the only way to rescue the Venezuelan economy was to boost confidence among consumers and businessmen. The president should end the expropriations, because all they do is scare investors away even more. If there's no confidence, any system you implant is going to struggle to function, he added. The FedCommerce director claimed that, far from stores being responsible for shortages, the government is in full control of the Venezuelan economy through price controls and ongoing interventions in the chain of production. Out of sight, out of mind. Despite the ongoing efforts of the Maduro government to prosecute what it calls an economic war, the lines continue even outside supermarkets belonging to the state chain. Social media users have expressed their anger at the government's intervention into private companies and criticized the poor service and state-run stores. On Monday, it emerged that a large number of people waiting in line outside Bicentenario stores were being redirected to the basement so they wouldn't be seen. One notable instance was in the Bicentenario outlet in Plaza Venezuela, Caracas, whose lines were remarked upon 2 weeks ago by visiting former Colombian President Andrés Pastrana. Food mission that sell food and staple products subsidized by the government, although food shortages have been just as evident in private supermarkets as well. Last week, PDVAL announced the start of a pilot program in which users can only purchase certain products once a week, and to maintain control, will register using their ID number before making their purchases. The worsening shortage problem. The primary objective of the food program, established by Hugo Chavez in 2003, has been to distribute and sell food and other basic necessities at lower prices than private businesses. However, the program has run into two major problems. One, government markets have become the ideal place for informal traders, known as bachucaros, to acquire merchandise at low prices for resale at much higher prices. Two, shortages on certain basic products continue to occur because, on the occasion that they can be found, they are bought in very large quantities for fear they will not be found in the future. The government has classified this sort of behavior as domestic hoarding, or nervous shopping, and has identified it as the principal cause of shortages. If People are going to take 20 packages of flour when they would normally take 3. They are creating to offer subsidized products to the public. The new system will employ an electronic banking card, secure digitized supply system, that will be provided to all who receive government assistance by Centenario, PDVAL, Mercal, and will serve to limit purchases of specific products. Maduro's decision stems from the problems associated with these government-run markets, under the umbrella of the mission and alimentation. On Saturday, Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro announced the creation of a superior system of supply to combat the suspicion that, according to the president, people are taking advantage of programs that